Met, and then Tommy Greene.
And on the mound for the New York Mets, Dave Telgheder, waiting for the Mets to take the field for this game on Saturday afternoon. A beautiful fall day here in New York, and now the Mets have taken the field, and Telgheder has taken the mound. His stats brought to you by Starter. Comes in with a record of 0-1. An earned run average of 6.48. This will be his sixth game for the Mets, his third game start. He's worked 6 2/3 innings, giving up 24 hits. The opposition hitting .343 against him. In 1993, he pitched for the Mets here in the major leagues.
And his defense, brought to you by the United States Postal Service, looks like this. Kent, Vizcaíno, and Bogar in the infield. Left to right in the outfield, Buford, Thompson, and Everett. Hundley behind the plate. Hundley hit his 15th home run of the season in last night's game. Everett had a good night. Everett was injured in last night's game, but he's okay. He's back in the lineup today. Mets are out of last place. Right there, Todd Hundley, 3 for 3 in last night's ball game. As I mentioned, 15 home runs. There's Carl Everett in right field.
Hope springs eternal. Everett's been around a long time. He's finally put some numbers together here in the latter part of this season, but still hasn't made it a sure fact that he is a everyday major league ball player, but he certainly has made a lot of people look a longer time at him. You know, Fran, incidentally, if we had not gone to expansion and realignment, the Philadelphia Phillies would be in a first-place tie with the Chicago Cubs today, rather than being totally out of the race in the National League East.
I'm sure Jim Fragosi's well aware of that dilemma. Fragosi, the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
And also a former Mets player.
Traded for Nolan Ryan.
Infamous trade. Nolan Ryan and 3 other players for Jim Fragosi.
Jim Fragosi, one-time All-Star with the California Angels, as Mickey Morandini steps in and takes a stride. Morandini batting .288, 6 home runs, 47 RBIs.
It was back in 1992 that Jim Fragosi said, choke up on the bat or ship out.
Well, he choked up there, but he hit it up in the air. Thompson makes the grab, 1 down. Keep in mind, it's Intermets Day here on Sports Channel. We'll take your email and we'll take your phone calls.
Real windy day.
Oh, but Ralph, as a home run hitter, you got to like the way the wind is blowing.
Well, it looks like it's blowing out to left field, and that would make everybody that's a right-hand batter happy. But it does swirl here in this ballpark. It's not a true indication of what is going on when you look at that center field flagpole.
And Andy Van Slyke takes the breaking ball down and in for Dave Telgheder. Van Slyke batting .256, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs.
You know, he got his chance to get into Major League Baseball on a daily basis with the St. Louis Cardinals when the Mets acquired Keith Hernandez. One of the great trades made by Frank Cashin, picking up Keith Hernandez, who led the Mets in 1986.
That was the start of the Met organization. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Line drive, Telgheder gloves it.
Just like picking cherries off a cherry tree. Made it look easy, and that ball was a rocket hit back through the mound. Telgheder turned it into an easy out. Watch him pick this one out of the air. Van Slyke has got to be unhappy. Hit it that hard and end up empty.
And Slyke, one of the more colorful characters in the game of baseball. And the batter now, Greg Jeffries, 4 hits in last night's ballgame. He takes a strike. Jeffries batting .309, 11 home runs, 55 RBIs. Started the season as a left fielder. And he takes a strike, so it's 0-2. They quickly moved him to first base, where he found a home in St. Louis.
He struggled at the bat while playing the outfield. There's no reason for that. A lot of people blame the demise of Ojo, Howard Johnson, being moved to the outfield, but there's no reason for anybody playing in the outfield to have a reason for a downfall at the plate.
Yeah, Howard Johnson's still a young guy. Really confusing how fast Howard lost it as Jeffries fouls that pitch off, so he stays alive at 0-2. Jeffries found a home in St. Louis. Joe Torre, who was a fine manager with the Cardinals, made the switch, moved Jeffries to first base, and he did a fine job. The Cardinals then went out and offered him a long-term deal for a lot of money. Checks his swing and it's foul. He turned down the deal, although the money was comparable to the money he signed for in Philadelphia. He was concerned about the rumor that if he did sign with the Cardinals, they were going to immediately trade him to the Montreal Expos. That didn't make sense.
Well, he doesn't speak French.
There's a chopper to short. Vizcaíno to Bronya, who has to pull it out of the dirt. And that'll do it for the Phillies. They go quietly here in the first. 3 up, 3 down. We played a half inning here. Che, no score. Philadelphia and New York.
Greene brought to you by Starter. He's 0-4 this year. His first appearance against the Mets, and a lifetime record of 3-1 against the Mets with an earned run average of 7.20 so far this year. He's coming off a shoulder surgery.
He's not throwing very hard, according to the people that follow the Phillies, as he throws the first fastball up high, 1-0. Damon Buford batting .244, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. Slider down low, so it's 2-0. Phillies took some tough shots this year. They lost a couple of their leaders early on. Lenny Dykstra nursed injuries, and then they lost him for the season. And Darren Dalton lost for the season. Buford takes a strike, 2-1.
Kurt Schilling was hampered, one of their top pitchers. Greene back in 1993 was 16-4 for the Philadelphia Phillies. Won his first 8 decisions for Philadelphia that year.
And the 2-1 pitch. Buford pops it up. Foul territory. Out of play. So it's 2-2 on Damon Buford.
You know, Buford, an interesting case. He's never hit in the major leagues. He has been red hot for the Mets in his last 11 games, hitting .381. Last 10 games, he's been on base 23 out of 51 plate appearances.
Said he never felt like he got a good opportunity to deliver as a hitter in the major leagues.
Has a very unusual swing. Pushes at the ball.
He pushed over that breaking ball right there. So Damon Buford strikes out. 1 down here in the first.
This kind of a swing doesn't get a whole lot of attention from the so-called hitting experts. As you see, kind of shoves the bat at the ball. It doesn't come around with any head speed. But he hit 2 home runs in 1 ball game, which got everybody's attention. And one of them a long home run about 430 feet.
The batter now, Jose Vizcaíno, batting .272, 3 home runs, 51 RBI. Swings over the breaking ball, 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, a fastball misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, it's only in New York that you read about potential stars coming to the major leagues. And the potential is like superhuman potential. And the shortstop the Mets have at Norfolk, Ray O'Donis, has already been projected into the shortstop spot for the Mets next year, ahead of Vizcaíno. But Vizcaíno, in the second half of this season, has done a terrific job defensively and offensively for the Mets.
He's wearing those sunglasses, batting against Tommy Greene. He takes a strike. It's 2-2. We saw Ordonez last year in AA ball, and he did look real good defensively. Problem is, when you get in the major leagues, you got to be able to swing that lumber to hit moderately well.
One of the things that'll be going against Ordonez next year, if he can't hit, is the fact that the Mets will not have a strong hitting ball club. You can carry a defensive shortstop if you have a lot of power hitters in your lineup. But in the case of the Mets, unless they acquire some players, they will not have a strong hitting team.
Outside 3-2. And what usually happens is a young guy will get a chance to play, and if he's real good defensively, a team wants to stay with him, wants to stay with him, wants to stay with him. Once they start struggling, the guy that comes out of the lineup is the guy that doesn't hit.
First guy to go.
Up high, ball 4. So Vizcaíno walks. And Vizcaíno goes to first base. We'll take a look at the defense for the Phillies. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service. You can see in the infield Jeffries, Morandini, former Met Elster, and Hayes. Left to right in the outfield, Marsh, Van Slyke, and Witten. Webster doing the catching. And the batter now will be Carl Everett. Everett batting .256, 12 home runs, 43 RBIs. He has 23 RBIs in his last 24 games. Just made contact with the catcher's glove, so he asked for time. Sometimes a catcher like Lenny Webster might be a little bit too close, and all of a sudden, once the hitter makes contact with the glove, you should ask for time because it's disconcerting. It fouls up your concentration. Fastball is on the corner, 0-1.
Of course, if you hit the catcher's glove when you're batting as you swing at a ball, you get first base on catcher's interference.
I think the guy who has the all-time record for interference might be Pete Rose. I know Phil Rizzuto told me he used to do it on purpose.
You know that Dale Berra was very good at that, Yogi's son, when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. A lot of players do it on purpose. They'll take the bat back and hit that catcher's glove to get first base free.
And they tell the catcher when they're teaching you how to catch, they say you can't be afraid. You have to get as close to the batter as possible.
Steal those strikes.
Try to steal those strikes. But
Van Slyke is another that hits a lot of catcher's gloves, and I'm sure he does it on purpose.
What if you were a catcher and somebody hit your glove on purpose? I mean, that hurts. What would you do? I mean, you're prone to violence, aren't you?
Say, excuse me. I'm sorry. Pardon me. All those cliches that you throw out there as you do it on purpose again.
Now, what if you were a catcher? Would you be upset?
I guess so.
1-1 pitch to Carl Everett's outside.
Harry Burkeen, who was known as the Cat, was a great left-handed pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he used to knock you down, and as a ball sailed over your head into the catcher's glove, after the action had taken place, he'd yell, "Look out." What a joke that was.
2-1 on Everett. Up high, ball 3. So Greene out of the strike zone against Vizcaino, and he's flirting with a walk right now to Carl Everett. Mets have a chance of catching the Phillies. Phillies 17 out, the Mets 22.5 back. They have a chance of catching those Expos. The Expos 20.5 games back. 3-1 pitch. Vizcaino moving towards second to throw. They got him. That was a beauty by Lenny Webster. Got rid of it quickly and threw it right on the money.
Well, these are the things that really hurt. Hit and run play, and Everett doesn't make contact, and Vizcaino is a dead duck at second base as the tag is made by Kevin Stocker. It's only the second runner attempting to steal, although this is a hit and run play, since Dalton was injured and out of action for the Philadelphia Phillies. Incidentally, I have never understood why they run on a 3-1 count, and managers do it over and over and over again.
You sound like a power hitter.
But the whole thing is, there's the walk that follows the 3-1 pitch that was swung on and missed on the hit and run play. Why not give the pitcher every chance in the world to walk you anyway, and give the hitter a chance to select his pitch and possibly hit it out of the ballpark? On a hit and run play, you got to swing at the ball and protect the runner.
Well, Carl Everett's down on first base with 2 men gone. Jeff Kent batting .267 batter. He takes up high. 1-0. Webster will go out to talk to Greene.
It's something that was never done until about the last 15 years. And manager after manager puts the hit and run play on a 3-1 pitch.
Dallas Greene, the manager of the Mets. A lot of talk right now about what is Dallas's future here in New York. I think he's done a good job, Ralph.
I think he's done a great job.
You were a general manager at one time.
Oh, I'd hire him in a second.
Swung on and missed, 1-1. Well, that decision will fall into Joe McIlvain's lap. I got to believe Joe will hire him, rehire him, I should say.
This man has covered every facet you can cover on the managerial side of baseball. Farm director, a general manager, a manager. He's had great success at all 3 of those jobs. And he is a hard-working manager. Nobody works his team harder than he does. He's outstanding.
And he's brought stability in that dugout. 1-1 on Jeff Kent. Down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Jeff Kent with 18 home runs. You see the current homestand. He has 49 RBIs. Good offensive production for a second baseman. When you played, Ralph, second baseman didn't hit home runs.
No, I wouldn't say that. You got guys like Joe Gordon.
Good hitter.
A lot of home runs.
He's
30
not in the
home
Hall
runs.
of Fame.
No, he's not. And he certainly has some stats.
Swung on and missed.
Bobby Doerr hit a lot of home runs.
A great player whose number was retired by the Boston Red Sox.
But generally, a second baseman was a defensive player as well as a shortstop. But there's always exceptions to the rules that are made up by guys that don't know what they're talking about.
2-2 pitch. Oh, that's a nasty slider right there. Jeff Kent strikes out. The Mets strand to Everett on first base. Failed to score. We played one here at Shea. No score. Struggled so much with the Red Sox that he ended up in the minor leagues. It's a chopper to first base. Bronge takes it himself. 1 down. Think of this. This guy had 4 home runs in 1 game last year, and he was in the minor leagues this year, Ralph.
Amazing story, and he's still struggling. His number's a little better with the Phillies, 288 batting average, but he's had 9 home runs, but only 27 runs batted in.
The batter now will be Charlie Hayes. Hayes batting 278, 10 home runs, 80 RBIs, having a fine season and a good defensive third baseman for the Phils.
He's got a great story. When he was a Little League player, he pitched against Dwight Gooden and beat him 1-0. Hayes went on to play in the Little League World Series. They didn't win the championship, but he has the claim to fame of out-dueling Dwight Gooden when they were 12-year-olds.
He's from Mississippi, Doc from Florida, and he told me, here's the 1-1 pitch, he fouls it back. He told me that his team heard of Doc Gooden when they were that age, when they're going to play each other in that Little League game.
I mean, they had scouting reports at 12 years of age.
They had those scouting reports even back then. There's a looper into left field off the bat of Charlie Hayes. So Hayes picks up the first hit of the game for the Phillies. Now, we have an email that we will talk about for a second. I'll ask Ralph the question. A gentleman named David Johnson, or as Rusty says down in New Orleans, David Johnson, sent in an email, and just to make it brief, he was talking with his son and his father, and they all had different guys they had picked who were Met killers over the years, Ralph.
Three generations in the family?
The grandfather, the father, and the grandson. We're talking about who was the great Met killer. Who would you, picking out one guy, who would you say it was?
Well, I don't know if you can do that because you got all those different eras. The Mets in the early 60s were terrible as a team, bad pitching and what have you. And then when you get into the Seaver Kuzman era, their pitching was outstanding, and then again you got other down points. My right to mind, Ted Simmons.
Really?
Ted Simmons just used to wear the Mets out and wore out our good pitching too. He was one of the outstanding hitters. He too is not even mentioned for the Hall of Fame.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. As you look at Tom Marsh's stats, he's batting 276 on the season, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. Outside, 2-1. I asked Dave Winfield when he joined the Yankees who was the best hitter in the National League, and at that time he said Ted Simmons. He said everything he hits is a bullet. Now this guy's not even on the ballot. He didn't get enough votes to stay on the Hall of Fame ballot.
That's for sure. He's had some great numbers, and he was an outstanding catcher. Incidentally, the batter right here, Eisenreich, has a lifetime average against the Mets of about .330. He's worn the Mets out. And this is March. I should say the guy that Marsh has replaced Eisenreich.
Marsh fouls it back, so it's 2-2. Well, also Mr. Johnson mentioned Nate Colbert and Willie Davis. A guy that comes to my mind, and I didn't follow the Mets closely, was Willie McCovey.
He wore a few people out. There's no doubt about that. That's kind of I think that's sort of a personal thing. You remember certain situations where you were at the ballpark at the time and the guy had some fantastic days.
Telgheder just threw the fastball inside to Marsh. So it's a full count on Tom Marsh. He'll be followed by the catcher, Lenny Webster. Charlie Hayes on first base with one man gone. Foul back. Charlie Hayes makes his way back to first base. Still a full count on Tom Marsh. And a 3-2 pitch. Good pitch, strike three. Throw to second base. It's bounced. Jeff Kent unable to come up with the bad throw from Todd Hundley. So Charlie Hayes moves on to third base. So
well, Hundley has thrown out 27% of the runners prior to this attempted steal. The batter swings and misses. He comes across the plate. That could be catcher's interference right there, but the Mets didn't ask for it.
Yeah, and you got to
a bad throw.
Got to make contact with that hitter also. And also the umpire, it's his interpretation. Did his swing take him across the plate, or did he do it intentionally? And they pretty much give the benefit of the doubt to the hitter. As you look at Lenny Webster batting .254 with one dinger and 10 RBIs, he takes a strike from Dave Telgheder.
That'll be recorded as a stolen base and an error charge to Hundley, allowing Hayes to go to third.
And Webster hits the ball hard. Everett is right there and gloves it for out number 3. So the Phillies strand Hayes on third. They fail to score. We've played 1.5 here at Shea. No score, the Phillies and the Mets. Zip, zip, the Phillies and the Mets. One hit in this game. Phillies have that hit, one error. The Mets have that. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Rico Brogna, Todd Hundley, and then Ryan Thompson. Brogna with 19 home runs. Batting .289, 61 RBIs. And playing a outstanding first base. Grew up a Red Sox fan. And he takes the pitch right there for a strike. 0-1 from Watertown, Connecticut. Rico Brogna. His dad teaches Latin at the Taft Prep School in Watertown. 0-1 pitch, and Rico gets jammed. Webster in pursuit. Nice try. 0-2 on Brogna.
Well, that was a case of Charlie Hayes, the third baseman, saying, "You got it."
He did.
Hayes didn't make a move for that ball.
Webster said, "Take it if you can."
This ball wasn't hit that high in the air. Webster is the only guy going after it. There you see Hayes.
The umpire did get a better jump on that ball than Charlie. Nice move by Bob Davidson. 0-2 on Rico Brogna. There's Charlie Hayes. Lenny Webster flashing those signs. Brogna takes the breaking ball down and in from Tommy Greene. 1-2. His last 4 ball games, you can see 2 dingers for Rico Brogna. And the 1-2 pitch, foul out of play. So we'll do it again at 1-2. An autumn day in New York. When you think of autumn in New York, Ralph, you have to think of the World Series. So many years played in New York. Mel Allen doing the play-by-play. Kids with radios all over the country in classrooms.
I think one of the big thrills I had was in 1947. It was my second year in the major leagues, and I had hit 51 home runs. For the Pirates, and the Pittsburgh Press gave me a job to cover the Yankees game with the Dodgers, the games with the Dodgers at Yankee Stadium in Ebbets Field, and going to the ballpark at Yankee Stadium with Hank Greenberg in a limousine and parking in that front row by the driveway there that goes into Yankee Stadium, and sitting in the stands watching that World Series. That was one of my great thrills.
And there's no doubt about it, that stadium is a monument, really.
Well, you can't help but be impressed when you walk in there and the first thing you think of, this is where Babe Ruth played.
Yeah. 2-2 on Rico Brogna. Fouls it off again.
Of course, that was before you played there.
Absolutely. I was hoping you would postscript that. You know, a lot of people, well, they say it's the house that Ruth built, but Ruth really didn't build that house.
Oh, he had carpenters. He hired the other people that did it, yeah.
John McGraw was instrumental in Yankee Stadium being
built. Well, they
built.
kicked him out of the Polo Grounds.
McGraw kicked the Yankees out because they started to win.
That's right. They were getting all the play, and so he says, your lease is up. You got to get your own stadium.
Swung at and missed, so Brogna goes down on strikes. 1 down. Okay, the other night we decided to use email for our Coors Trivia Quiz. We had some trouble with it. Mike from Medford had us confused all night. We're going back. The email's from Leo Panetta. Have there been any players to appear in the World Series for both the Mets and the Yankees? Ralph, you should have that on the tip of your tongue.
For both the Mets and the Yankees?
Yes. As Todd Hundley steps in, had his 15th home run of the season in last night's game. He takes down low, ball 1.
Well, I'd certainly say, would you consider him a player? Casey Stengel would be one of the answers. How about Yogi Berra?
Well, no, these are players.
Well, Yogi played for the Mets.
They had it in the World Series, playing the World Series.
Well, they had to play in the World Series games.
Yeah. You been dealing with Mike from Medford?
I heard about Mike. Mike's a little messed up with the numbers, I'll tell you
Even
that.
his son sold him down a river. He said he makes a lot of mistakes.
What did he say? He'd been telling that trivia question for 10 years. Telling it wrong for 10 years. Probably made a lot of money collecting on it.
Everybody's going back for their money. Ball's popped up and out of play, so we'll do it again at 2-2 on Todd Hundley. Once again, the question from an email from Leo Panetta. He sent it in using his email. It's Coors Trivia Quiz. Have there been any players to appear in the World Series for both the Mets and the Yanks? Balls and 2 strikes and Todd Hundley.
Well, Casey would have said you could look it up.
I would say no.
That would be my first reaction. Back to 1969, the Mets had a lot of young ball players on that club. None of the starters played for the Yankees at one time.
Well, once again, the question from Leo Panetta. Have there been any players to appear in the World Series for both the Mets and the Yankees?
No, there we got it.
It says no, but Yogi Berra managed both teams in the World Series.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yogi Epps. First pitch to Ryan Thompson. He swings through the breaking ball, 0-1. Runner on first base, Todd Hundley. He walked. Thompson, 7 home runs, 29 RBIs, batting .263. A lot of talk about this wild card berth in the National League and the American League.
You know, I get a lot of...
There's a drive to left center field. Nice play by Tom Marsh. A long throw to first. Hundley back. Fine play by Tom Marsh. The fans here at Shea give him a round of applause.
Oh, that was an outstanding play. This ball was a knuckleball going out to left field, making the catch even more difficult. And he does a terrific job coming up with that ball. You saw it kind of move back in against his body. Hundley was all the way down to second, and he just does get back ahead of the throw to first. Good play right here. Look at that ball rattle in that glove. Marsh is a guy that on home runs that were totally out of reach, went up the top of the fence One time he went up on the top of the fence and the ball dropped back in the field.
That's when it's embarrassing. Tim Bogart just took a strike. Bogart batting .282, 1 home run, 17 RBIs.
Getting back to that other thought about a wild card, these so-called purists saying they don't like it. I think it's an outstanding interest maker for baseball. There's no question about it.
I think once baseball gets its house cleaned up, the wild card situation will be even more exciting. You can take a look at the National League wild card standings.
Now, the Dodgers are in the race, but the Astros certainly aren't. Phillies certainly aren't.
In their division.
Cubs certainly aren't, and the Giants certainly aren't. But all those clubs have interest because of the wild card.
Fouled back, so 0-2 on Tim Bogart. Do you think it takes away, if you're the wild card entry, does it take away some of the value of winning your division?
Well, if you really want to define it that thoroughly, yeah, it takes a little bit away, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. But I think that's well offset by the fact the interest is held up in places like Houston, Chicago, Philadelphia. Phillies would be in the race if they hadn't gone to the expansion, but and the change of alignment of the ball clubs, moving Atlanta out of the Central Division into the Eastern Division, that changed everything in the Eastern Division for Montreal, the Mets, and Philadelphia, and other clubs in that division. But there's no other reason. I mean, with all the teams playing today, you couldn't have just 2 divisions, so it's got to be done that way. So why the argument?
No
Can't
argument
be done
here.
any other way.
I think it's good for baseball.
And I think it's very good for baseball.
Well, remember the years when teams would run away with it and people would be bored.
Well, they used to, and they've had split in the minor leagues. When a team runs away with the first half, they split the season in half and start all over again. So, I mean, it's not, that isn't done by design. That's I think it's a very good move.
Well, it's 3-2 on Tim Bogart.
And who are the purists anyway? What makes them pure?
You want to get? I don't want to get into that, brother. Whew. Rusty can handle that topic.
You know, just because you don't agree with the idea, you're a purist.
Yeah.
You could also be wrong.
Down low. They also call him traditionalist. And Bill Veck had a great line about tradition. He said tradition is the albatross around the neck of progress.
That's like the Doug Rader saying when he was turned down for a job as a manager because he didn't have any experience as a manager. He says in that case they wouldn't put a man on the moon if it was for lack of experience. I mean, there are all different ways to look at it.
Well, the wild card has been great for a lot of teams. As you look at Jim Fregosi. His pitcher Tommy Greene will take on Dave Telgheder here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Mets have runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 men gone.
Well, the wild card certainly keeping the Yankees alive. They'd be out of it.
The Yankees were in spring training, if you remember, they were printing tickets for the Eastern Division title. But they get a shot at it with the wild card. I think it's great for baseball. Yankees playing in Baltimore tonight. Telgheder loops one into center field. Base hit. He can throw. The throw to the plate. Not in time. Hundley scores just ahead of Van Slyke's throw. And on the throw, Bogart goes to 3rd, so a big hit for Dave Telgheder helping his cause.
Well, Dave gets his first run batted in of the year. And the throw by Van Slyke is not a strong throw, but it is accurate. Takes that one bounce, or short hop, maybe caught it on the fly, and the catcher way out of position. Andy Webster going up away from the plate and making it possible for Healy to get in under the tag there and score the run.
Batter now, Damon Buford. He struck out his first time up. He takes down and out of the strike zone.
Now, you were a catcher. Right there is a real tough decision for a catcher. He came up to get that ball in the air. He didn't want to take the chance of the half hop.
That's right.
In
between hop.
Which way do you go? You got to stay back, don't you?
Well,
take your chances.
There's a ball to Buford, 2-0. Well, if he felt he couldn't handle the in-between hop, because he was going to get an in-between hop there. So he stepped a foot in front of the plate, caught the ball in the air, and then wanted to come back. And, of course, Hundley got around him. If he stays back, can he handle the ball if it hits the ground?
Be awfully difficult to do.
It looked like he was going to take that in-between hop on him. The most difficult hop to handle is the in-between. It's 3-0 now on Damon Buford.
Plus, also, he probably would have been crashed into by Huntley sliding in.
Runners on the corners, 3-0 pitch, inside, ball 4. You would prefer your catcher to stay closer to the plate. Let's see if he would have gotten the in-between hop. Johnny Padres, who pitched in those fall classics for the Dodgers, going out to the mound, it would have been in-between hop. You see where he caught that ball? But maybe he should have stayed back, put the left leg in front of the plate, although Huntley went around him anyways. You can get around that left leg if you have time.
Well, it's easy to criticize a catcher in a situation like that.
What would you have done?
Up here.
What would you have done?
Well, first of all, I don't think I'd ever be behind the plate. I think I would have played in the outfield instead. No, I think, you hear a lot of catchers, ex-players, criticizing on plays like that. They should stay back, but it's not always as easy as you can make it look. Let's take another look at this play. Now, Van Slyke's throw is all the way. Now, if he stays back, it's going to hit the dirt. He comes out and takes it on the fly, and by that time, Huntley is in. I think Huntley would have scored anyway.
Yeah. Vizcaíno takes outside 1-0, and you put that front leg or that left leg in front of the plate to block the plate. As you see, the bases are loaded with Mets. Huntley still beats the throw and goes around the catcher.
Plus, technically, you can't block the plate without the ball. This is 5 walks in the game now for Tommy Greene.
There's 2-0, so he has a chance of walking his 6th batter. If he does, it'll force in a run. What do you do here, Ralph? 2-0 on a guy who's having a pretty good year with the bat.
I'd let him hit away right here. You're trying to get a big inning going here and score some runs. You got 2 men out. He's going to get a fastball. He should be hitting away.
And he takes a rip. He pops it up. It'll be out of play. So he got the 2-0 heater. It was in his wheelhouse, and he fouled it off.
Chance for the Mets here to break this game open, as they've been helped out by 5 walks in the game. They have not had a base hit. I should say have had only 1 base hit.
There's a strike, so it's 2-2 on Jose Vizcaíno. A big at bat for Vizcaíno and the Mets, and a big at bat for Tommy Greene. 2-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Breaking ball. When you're walking a lot of hitters, it's always tough on a 2-2 pitch with the bases loaded to call that breaking ball.
If he throws that curveball again, it's going to be a miracle. There's a curve in the dirt for ball 3. A full count now, bases loaded. Nowhere to put the batter. Vizcaíno, a good contact batter. Runners will be running with a pitch, so he's going to work from the set position.
Down low, ball 4, 6th walk of the game for Tommy Greene. And Dave Telgheder moves to 3rd as Tim Bogar scores the 2nd run of the ball game for the Mets. The bases are still loaded with Mets for Carl Everett.
Well, one of the things for a pitcher when he comes off an arm operation, when he doesn't have the velocity he used to have, he tries to throw the ball harder than he can, and it makes you wild.
So Carl Everett batting with the bases loaded. In the 1st inning, he walked. 6 walks in 2 innings for Tommy Greene. Everett takes a strike.
Jeff Juden throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies. He's been used as a starting pitcher. Again, he goes to the curveball.
1-1 on Carl Everett. Yeah, that curveball, when you're struggling with the control, the easiest pitch to control is the fastball. So you're really taking a chance throwing that hook.
Right now, he's got to look fastball right here. He couldn't be in a better hitting position. Just guess fastball, make it be in a good spot to hit, and let her rip. And he got an off-speed pitch. That's an unusual pitch, but Everett did the right thing. When you're guessing one way, and I'm sure he was guessing fastball right there, you got to take the pitch if it's not the fastball. Nothing worse than put a weak swing in a situation like this where the base is loaded.
It's a bad ball right there. Everett fouls it off.
And he went to the breaking ball again right there. Tommy Greene, an outstanding pitcher for the Phillies, and then the sore arm and the arm operation. 16-4 in '93 when he led the Phillies to the World Series.
1-2 on Carl Everett. Off the plate outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Last time on a 2-2 count, he threw a breaking ball and got behind 3-2 and then walked the batter. This time he throws a fastball.
He gets the breaking ball over, goes back to the hook. 3-2 now on Carl Everett.
65 pitches, 42 have been balls, and we're in the 2nd inning.
Johnny Padres is getting restless in the Philly dugout. Everett pops it up and out of play.
Well, if he walks this batter, he's out of there.
There's Johnny Padres.
Winning pitcher in the 7th game of the 1952 World Series, giving the Brooklyn Dodgers their only World Championship. Won that game 2-0.
And the 3-2 pitch. There's a hard hit ball right field. Extra bases. They should clear them. 1 run scores. Here comes number 2 and number 3. A bases clearing double off the bat of Carl Everett, and it's now 5-0 Mets.
.24 runs batted in his last 22 games. Everett gets a 3-2 fastball. And with the bases loaded, drives in 3 runs. The Mets' 2nd hit in this game. And that 2nd hit following the 6th walk given up by Tommy Greene. And Everett has knocked Greene out of the batter's box.
Well, as Greene leaves the field, the call to the bullpen is brought to you by MCI Long Distance.
At a 2-4. He has no saves. Juden with a home run average of 4.29. Juden in his first relief appearance, he has started 9 ball games and now in the relief role for the Philadelphia Phillies as the Phillies try to stay alive in the wild card race in the National League.
Now we'll go to the phone and take a call. It's Intermets on Sports Channel.
5. My name is Vince. I'm from Brooklyn. I'd like to know what the status of Chris Jones is with the New York Mets team. If he's going to get more playing time or what his future will be for next year.
Well, that's a good question. He's done a fine job for the Mets.
He's going to get less playing time.
That's right. Even though he's done a fine job for the Mets, they got a lot of young outfielders on the New York Met Ball Club. We've seen a lot of Carl Everett.
The Mets are going to be looking at their newcomer, Ochoa, who was just brought up, Alex Ochoa.
David
They're certainly
Buford.
going to want to look at him.
Buford also next year. Ryan Thompson. So Dallas Green's going to have a very active time in spring training. There's going to be some tough decisions to be made for St. Lucie next spring. A lot of these players are going to play winter ball as Jeff Kent steps up and takes out of the strike zone 1-0.
One thing about Jones is the fact they know what he can do. He's been around in the major leagues for several years.
Boy, he's done a nice job.
He's done a tremendous job as a utility ball player, which looks to be his role in the future.
keep in mind they have Joe Orsulak, who's done a fine job.
He too will be scrutinized in spring training. I think you're right, Fran. Spring training is going to be a very, very active spring training for Dallas Green if he's with the New York Mets.
There's going to be more competition on the ball club than probably ever before. They've got some fine young talent.
What are you going to do at a lot of positions? Outfield for sure. And how about second base?
Well, big decision there. What do you do?
How about third base?
Do you stay with Jeff Kent, or do you package Jeff and go out for a bona fide home run hitter? Jeff Kent right now with 18 home runs as a second baseman.
And you got Alfonso had a terrific rookie year.
At third base. Then you got Butch Husky, who they were hoping to see a little bit in the outfield.
And he could play the outfield and third base.
As Kent takes inside.
And possibly first base. I mean, they've got all kinds of combinations they're going to have to sort out and work out.
Well, you're not going to mess with Bronya. You're going to leave Bronya.
Well, you could two-platoon him. I mean, he has yet to prove that he has ability to hit a left-hand pitcher.
I'd leave him out there. The way he can play defense.
He's outstanding there. He's outstanding. He's had a great year. Not a great year. He's had a good year.
Juden throws a strike. So it's 3-2 on Jeff Kent, a runner on second base, Carl Everett. On a beautiful fall afternoon here at Shea Stadium. So the future looks bright for the Mets. Talking about all this talent, we haven't even touched on the pitching staff, and Tony Gwynn says that's what's going to turn the organization around. Hard hit ball, but foul.
And you have Pulsifer now with he won't pitch the rest of this year.
Cautionary measure on the part of the Mets. You got Jason Isringhausen, who has 7 wins in the major leagues. He has 5 in a row. You got Paul Wilson in AAA.
Yeah, and then they have Pete Harmish coming back from an arm operation.
Dave Malecki has shown
had
very
an
good stuff.
outstanding year.
In fact, Tony Gwynn mentioned Malecki when he mentioned Isringhausen and Pulsifer to me, and he said he heard about Paul Wilson. 3-2 pitch. Fouled out of play. There's going to be an awful lot of pressure on Paul Wilson. Everybody's talking about this guy. He's out in the big leagues.
That's New York for you. I mean, they make you a star before you get here, and then they can't wait to tear you down.
Well, Paul Wilson struggled last year, but he came on strong this year.
Never won a game last year in his first year in pro ball.
And the 3-2 pitch is up high. Is it a ball? They're going to check with the first base. Somebody calls him out. First base umpire Steve Ripley said, believe it or not, you're out. The Mets strand Everett on second base. But they scored. They scored big here in the second inning. We go to the top of the third, and it's 5-zip New York. It's off the first pitch from Dave Telgheder. Elster betting 222, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. He was a favorite here in New York. Down low, 1-1. He came up as a good defensive shortstop, then hurt his arm. Fouled the ball back, 1-2. He was very popular here, Ralph.
Certainly was, and he was an outstanding defensive shortstop. Little time with the Yankees.
Remember, he called himself a renegade when he first came up. Down low, 2-2. Just missed outside. 3-2. Telgheder pitched his collegiate ball at the University of Massachusetts. Elston fouls it back. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Elston fouls another one off. Talked about the division races before. The Mets have an opportunity. They continue play good baseball to pass the Expos and the Phillies. A nice way to end the season as Elster walks. So Elster walks leading off the third inning. I'm sure Dallas Green is going, why me? 5-0 in the third. Leadoff hitter walks.
And the pitcher coming up.
Jeff Juden, the batter. Squares the bunt and he takes a strike.
Juden 1 for 17, but that one hit, a home run.
Oh, and 1 on Juden. Bunts it up in the air. Bronya hustles after it, plays it on the hop, but that doesn't count. 0-2 now on Jeff Juden. A lot of people speculating on time. How far away are the Mets from being back into contention, Ralph?
Well, it's hard to guess because you can change the ball club so quickly today.
Ball's bunted right back to Telgheder. He goes to first for the sure out. 1 down. Elster advances to second base. Yeah, of course, you got to take injuries into consideration. Right now, the Mets have some fine young pitchers. Hope they stay healthy. Joe McIlvaine told me early in the year he was in the market of developing players. That's how he wants to do it. He said he might, he's not sure, go out either through free agency or a trade and try to pick up a bona fide number 4 hitter. Down low to Mickey Morandini, who flied to center field his first time up. 1-0.
Such a different business today as a general manager with the long-term contracts, big money contracts. Ken Griffey Jr. just signed a contract for 5 years for $35 million.
That's a good deal.
$7 million a year for 5 years.
Well, where the market is today, if his wrist is okay, he's some kind of player.
You know, so you have that contract played out there, and he signed it. It's all bona fide. If he breaks his wrist again, what happens?
The insurance man will cry.
There's no question about that.
Morandini picks up a base hit. I mean, those contracts have to be insured.
They are definitely insured in almost
center
every
fielder
case.
Andy Van Slyke.
Talk about Ken Griffey. You're talking about, if not the best player in all of baseball, one of the top 3. People in the American League claim he's the best.
Well, you got Frank Thomas with the White Sox.
Griffey does it all. He does it defensively and offensively. Got Barry Bonds at the Giants. He can do it all, but he's not a center fielder. Matt Williams at the Giants. Andy Van Slyke takes a strike from Dave Telgheder. Runners are on the corners. 1 man down here in the top of the third. Mets 5, Phillies nothing. My choice right now for the MVP in the National League, Ralph, Mike Piazza.
And if they don't win it, would you still give it to him?
No. Because there's some guys with...
How about Barry Larkin?
Barry Larkin's a good choice. But you get this guy Piazza, a catcher, who when he was out of the lineup, the Dodgers were out. He came back in, the Dodgers got back into it.
Well, he is bona fide. There's no question about that.
There's a strike to Andy Van Slyke, 1-2.
Speaking of most valuable players, Michael Jordan, of course, tried to play baseball. Andy Van Slyke had the great line on Michael Jordan. Of course, Andy Van Slyke has great lines on everybody. He's got outspoken approach to everything. He said about Michael Jordan, there will be peace in the Middle East before Michael Jordan gets a hit in the major leagues. Peace hasn't happened in the Middle East in 4,000 years. And he was right.
Well, Andy Van Slyke just didn't get a hit, struck out, back in the Philly dugout. 2 men are gone here in the third. And the batter will be Greg Jeffries. As I mentioned earlier, Jeffries had 4 hits in last night's game for the 17th time in his career he did that. 1-0 on Jeffries. He was born to hit, wasn't he?
His idol was Ty Cobb. That's rather strange because he didn't see Ty Cobb play.
1-1.
Surely must have read about it.
I'm sure his dad, who was a longtime high school baseball coach out there in the Bay Area in San Francisco, talked a lot about the greats. I'm sure his dad didn't see Ty Cobb. Fouled off. 1-2.
His dad's name, Rich, and that's what Greg Jeffries has become.
Signed a long-term deal with the Phillies, signed as a free agent. They wanted him to play left field. He struggled in left field with then they moved him to first base and traded Dave Hollins to the Red Sox. 1-2 pitch. That's good hitting right there, but this ball is playable. No! Buford does not get to it, and Jeffries picks up a hit, his first of the game. Elster scoring.
Yeah, he gets a run batted in, his 56th of the year, and as Fran pointed out, this is a well-hit ball off a tough pitch. Ball was down, he reached out and just lined it into left field, and Buford, unable to get to it in time, takes it on the short hop, tries to decoy the umpire into calling it a catch. It was a catch, but on the first bounce.
And Mark Whitten steps in and takes a strike. So it's 0-1 on the Philly right fielder. Runners are on first and second. 2 men down here in the 3rd inning. 5-1 Mets. Swung on a miss, throw to second base, and Morandini's back. You don't see too many catchers try to pick runners off of second base.
Kind of a dangerous play, especially when you have a big lead. You want to play a little more conservatively. He throws that ball in the center field. They get runners on second and third.
And the 0-2 pitch. It's blocked by Hundley. So we'll do it at 1-2. Thurman Munson used to try to pick runners off of third. We've seen Benito Santiago try to do it off first quite a bit from his knees.
That Charles Johnson with Florida is a pretty good-looking catcher.
Johnson has a
He's
great
got a
arm.
great arm.
1-2 pitch is down low, blocked nicely by Todd Hundley.
They're talking about great arms. They were talking about Alex Ochoa, who was brought up by the Mets and is on the roster now. He's unable to play because of a bruised hand. They say he's got a great arm, and the guy that plays right field for the Phillies and batting right now, Mark Whitten, with an outstanding arm.
And he just hits a rope in the center field. Phillies will pick up another run. Morandini scoring easily as Mark Whitten picks up his first hit of the game, and the Phillies are getting back into this ball game.
And it all started with a walk to Kevin Elster as he led off the inning.
Third baseman Charlie Hayes.
So 2 men are gone now. The batter will be Charlie Hayes with runners on first and second. Blas Minor looking on. Hayes singled his first time up, singled to right field, stole a base, went to third on a throwing error by Todd Hundley, and was stranded there. He takes up high, 1-0. And Hayes takes a fastball for a strike. 1-1. Phillies, a team that has had a great deal of tradition down in the Philadelphia area. Part of that long tradition is broadcasting for the Phillies today. Richie Ashburn. Hayes fouls off the breaking ball.
Richie started broadcasting with the Phillies right after his final year, which was played with the New York Mets in 1962. He went into the Hall of Fame this year as a great center fielder for Philadelphia. Mainly Philadelphia.
He was long overlooked, and a lot of the old timers felt he belonged in there. Inside to Hayes. 2-2. There's Richie Ashburn. A lot of you Hall of Famers, though, Ralph, don't get too vocal about guys like Richie until they get in. You say, yeah, he belonged with us.
You calling us front runners?
Absolutely. Only to your face, though. Fouled out of play. It's a tough group. I mean, they feel that they don't want to compromise their credentials that they've established over the years as professionals.
One of the things about Richie, I played against him, of course, and was a great center fielder. He was a league leader in hitting. He led the league in hits. He also led the league in stolen bases. But he was overshadowed by the power center fielders that were playing at that time. Guys like Duke Snyder, Willie Mays. So, in his own way, an outstanding ball player, but not a home run hitter.
Hayes puts the ball in play. Jeff Kent gloves it over to Bronya. That'll do it for the Phillies, but they strand 2. They pick up 2. We played 2.5, and it's 5-2 New York.
In our Game Time studio with this update brought to you by MetLife. The Red Sox are in Cleveland this afternoon, 4-3. Red Sox in the third. Jim Thome, though, takes care of that deficit as he rockets Roger Clemens, offering to left center field a 2-run shot, his 23rd. The Indians with the 5-4 lead as they play in the 6th. Right now, we'll send you back to Shea, where the Mets hold the lead over the Phils.
Okay, Matt, you see the score, 5-2. Leading off for the Mets will be Rico Bronya. Bronya, in his first at bat, struck out. Facing Jeff Duden. If you just tuned in, Tommy Greene started the ball game for the Phils, was knocked out of the box. And Bronya takes up high, 1-0.
Fran, I see where your close friend Reggie Jackson had just had a record that he held broken.
There's a high fly ball in deep right center field. That ball's way back. Oh, home run off the bat of Rico Bronya. Van Slyke's telling the right fielder Mark Whitney missed it by inches. So Bronya going deep, and the Mets have their 6th run of the game.
Oh, and you called that right, Fran. It was deep. Over the 400-foot mark in center field, and Bronya now with his 20th home run that leads the club. And this ball, a high fly ball. Van Slyke looks like he's going to catch it. He's got it measured. He checks the fence out. Now he's going to go high in the air, and he just does miss it. Would have been a brilliant catch. Look at this one. This angle almost made that play.
And Todd Hundley, the batter, takes a strike, so it's 0-2 on the Met catcher, who's batting .307 right now. He walked his first time up. He came around to score in the 2nd inning. Good heater right there, but out of the strike zone. So Rico Bronya with a home run.
But Todd has been hot since he got off the DL.
1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Hundley goes down swinging. 1 out here in the 3rd.
Center fielder.
Folks, keep in mind to tap those Rockies with Coors Light. Thank you, New York and New Jersey, for making Coors Light the #1 light beer.
Talking about that record that Reggie Jackson held, Mark McGwire yesterday hit home run number 269, setting an all-time Oakland record that was held by Reggie Jackson.
There's a strike to Ryan Thompson, who's 0 for 1 in this game. I know the big thing Reggie wanted to do in his career was hit 500. Hit 500 home runs. He did that. There's a strike. 0-2 on Thompson.
The guy that holds that record, the franchise record, Oakland, of course, started out in Philadelphia, went to Kansas City, and then moved to Oakland, is Jimmy Fox, and that's where Ryan Thompson grew up, in Jimmy Fox's hometown. Jimmy Fox, probably the greatest hitter that nobody talks about in the history of the game.
Won a Triple Crown.
500, what do you have, 544 home runs, something like that.
over that 500 mark as Thompson goes down swinging, 2 out.
58 home runs in 1 year.
Keep in mind, we're involved with our intermets today. We're receiving email and telephone calls. So if you have a question, send it to our email address. And there's the telephone number. As Tim Bogart swings and misses 0-1 on the Met third baseman. He walked in the second inning and came around to score. Good fastball from Jeff Juden. 0-2. Bogart doing a nice job this year as a utility player.
Yeah, filling in very well for the New York Mets. He had his greatest day in the major leagues against the Phillies.
Juden just threw the fastball right by him, so that'll do it for the Mets. But they pick up another run on a bat of Rico Brogna. We've played 3 here at Shea, and it's 6-2 Mets.
Catch the stars at the New York Mets Baseball Heaven, the Mets official baseball fantasy for players 30 and above. It's 7 days of baseball as the pros live it, learn it, and play it at the Mets Port St. Lucie training facility. And it's all capped with a chance to match your skills on the field against the pros. The package includes uniforms, all baseball activities, airfare, and hotel accommodations. For more information, call 1-800-898-METS. That's 1-800-898-METS for Mets Baseball Heaven.
Talk to me. Hello. Just want to hear your voice. Frenchie LePew, where are you? Okay.
Howard Jules. I told him that's how they pronounce it. Well, back here at Shea Stadium, 6-2. The Mets on top of the Phillies. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Now sliding with the play-by-play after running a 100-yard dash to get here. La Grande Orange, Rusty Staub.
And last time I ran a 100-yard dash was a long time ago. I might have run a 100-yard chug. Mets leading 6-2. Dave Telgheder. Ball 1. It's amazing what happens in this game. Mets scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Telgheder walked the first guy at the top of the 3rd. You know, the pitching coaches and the managers, they need those Rolaids you've been talking about for all these years.
I'll tell you, remember the old days, Davey Johnson had that jar of Rolaids right with him in the dugout. That showed you
he wasn't kidding around.
That shows how tough that job was.
All fouled off to the side. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tom Marsh. Marsh was struck out his first at bat. It's been a very different year for the Philadelphia Phillies, depending on when you caught them. Pitch inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They get off to a hot start, then they folded.
They were terrific.
Not folded, cooled off.
Up until June 25th, their record was 37-18. Popped up out of play. Almost, that's 19 games over 500. They were in first place, 5 games ahead of everybody in the East. Atlanta was struggling themselves, couldn't find their offense. They weren't pitching that well. But from the 26th of June until August 14th, there's a ground ball right to the 3rd baseman. Bogart, 1 out.
We were talking about Tim Bogart before, how well he's performed in all kinds of different positions. He's done the job with the bat in his hand. Tough job, boy. You move around a lot. You're not playing. 2 weeks later, you're in the lineup. You say, I got to get a hit to stay in the lineup.
Well, he knows he's not going to stay in the lineup unless there's a lot of injuries. But to finish up that story about the Phillies, they were 14. I mean, as of the 26th of June, when they were 37-18, up until August 14th, they went 12-34. 22 games under 500. The Braves got hot. Speaking of hot, that ball is up and deep and out of here. So Lenny Webster has his 2nd home run of the season. Fregosi keeps telling his troops, just stay with them. We're going to score. Third run in for the Phillies.
Shortstop Kevin.
You can imagine being that far ahead and then being 15.5 games behind.
I don't think anybody felt that the Phillies were going to beat the Braves.
I agree, but it certainly came in a hurry. So Telgheder behind ball 1 to Kevin Elster. He walked Elster last time up. That was the guy that led off the inning after the Mets scored 5. Now we have a 2-0 count. Elster hitting .222, so that only adds to the injustice of the walk. Ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Bogar. Good hard throw, 2 down.
Mention of positions, Bogar will play for the Mets. He's also their catcher if there's an emergency.
Well, he's been making novenas that emergency doesn't come up.
Isn't any part of that, but it's a good idea to get behind the plate and just to show them that you will do it. Helps your value.
We're going to have a pinch hitter. Kevin Jordan is going to come up and hit for Jeff Juden. Jordan obviously not a lot of at-bats. 8 hits in 40 at-bats, hitting an even .200. He's 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. That hit being a home run. So far, it has not been a tight game. 6-3 Mets. Ball 1. 5 hits for the Phillies on their 3 runs. Mets scored 6 runs on 3 hits. The Mets have got on base via the walk, a bundle. High pop-up, shallow center. Thompson coming in hard. Jeff backs off. Looked like there might have been a collision there.
Carvel, the ice cream.
1 run in for the Phils after 3.5. 6-3 New York.
Fans, join us on Sunday, September 17th for Dunkin' Donuts Coffee Mug Day. All fans age 15 and over attending the 1:40 Mets-Phillies game will get a 14-ounce mug, courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets Clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies.
Back at Big Shea, it is 6-3 New York over the Phillies. New pitcher in the game is Tyler Greene. It's 26 game. 8-9 record, 5.18. Was in the starting rotation a lot in the beginning of the season. Was pitching very well. And then struggled big time. Pitcher Dave Telgheder, who has an RBI in this game. There's a strike call. It was Telgeder's first RBI of his career. Only his second hit. But it was a big one. Tyler Greene misses with the fastball. 2-1. A couple of other day games will get underway fairly soon here. Atlanta at Cincinnati. Ball fouled off out of play. Florida will be at Colorado. Colorado trying to hold on to their lead in the West. They lead the Dodgers by a single game. Again fouled off. But the big thing about Colorado is even though they're only a game and ahead, they are 2 games ahead in the loss column. The loss column becomes the more important the closer you get to the end of the season. That is Tyler Greene. He's the 3rd pitcher for the Phillies. Today's action. Chopper up the middle. It could be a second hit, and it is. How about that? Kept battling. 2 for 2 is Dave Telgheder. And fans, this break in the action ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, and it never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light.
Here it is, Dave Telgheder picking up his second hit of the ball game. Ball beat him a little. He got that ball out in front, hit it off that hard surface, and shot into the outfield.
It'll bring up Damon Buford. He has struck out and walked. Dallas Green likes it. A little smile. Pitcher 2 for 2. Strike called right on the knees on the outside corner. Lenny Webster getting to catch a little bit. Darren Dalton out for the season. Going to work on him, the bionic man. Already worked on the knee. Going to work on the shoulder soon.
He's had about 8 operations on his knee. We're talking about Darren Dalton. It really doesn't seem to affect his speed. He's got very good speed. We'll probably start thinking of moving him to another position. He's got too good a bat to lose him for half a season.
Way out of the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Buddy checking down, and Mike Cubbage. Jeffries playing behind Telgheder at first. Webster coming inside. Line drive, base hit to left field. You come in, you got to get in there. Buford got the bat head out. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Vizcaino coming to the plate.
Well, Buford has been showing Dallas Green he can get on base and he can hit. Never felt he got the opportunity in Baltimore to do it on an everyday basis. Right there, getting ahead of the bat on that good fastball and picking up a base hit.
He has been on base 25 of his last 53 official at-bats. Vizcaino waiting on Tyler Green. A little dump. They're going to try to third. And they got him. Easy play. Tough to bunt somebody over, especially with that kind of bunt. Tyler Green got off the mound pretty well. No chance.
Here's Telgheder on the move to third base. With Green, an easy play to Hayes. Sometimes a pitcher has trouble throwing the ball to a base when he's that close. He's used to throwing the ball very, very hard. He has to take something off. And in that case there, it looked like Hayes was over anxious.
Everett the hitter. Swing and a miss at a curveball. Strike 1. Walk and a 3 RBI double. Everett has been impressing. Fastball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets in the last 28 games, 18 victories against 10 defeats. They have come on strong this second half of the season. He's tried to come back and be on the plate. Everett waiting. 3 balls and 1 strike. So 3-1. I would not send the runners here. Enjoyed Ralph's conversation about that 3-1 count. You want to be very selective, especially if you're the 3-hole hitter. Now it's a full count, and they probably will take off. Everybody checking coverage. Signs are out. Stance extremely wide open. I don't know how they do it, Francis. Ball fouled off.
He's comfortable. He's starting to swing the bat very well. He's had some production driving in some runs. Tell you one thing, Rusty, there have been a lot of batting instructors trying to change Mel Ott.
I understand. How about Roberto Clemente? Got to do what works for you.
That's right. Give a guy an opportunity to see if he can perform, be productive with his own natural stance, his natural ability. And if he's not, then you make him adjust. You talk to him about adjusting.
There's a line shot right at the third baseman, and they didn't get the runner at second, but they get Vizcaíno at first. So a double play ends the inning. One man stranded after 4. It is 6-3, New York. Center charged. Ryan Thompson had a little trouble with his footing out there, but he made the play.
You say it's the most difficult ball to field for a center fielder. That line drive hit directly at him.
I'll tell you one thing, Francis. One of the things that's gone unnoticed a little bit this year, I think, is the fact that Rico Brogna has only made 2 errors. Rico has done a magnificent job. I'll show you exactly what's happening. There's the Chrysler League leaders. He makes an error every 553 chances this year. 5-4-3.
Well, it's difficult to rest Rico Brogna against a tough left-hander because he is so good defensively. It's a tremendous asset on the field defensively, along with his bat. Home run in today's ball game.
At his 20th home run today.
What a trade for the Mets, picking up Rico Brogna, who had fallen into the doghouse in Detroit with your old skipper Sparky Anderson.
You're always trying to instigate me with Sparky. Look, Sparky had a great run as a manager.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I guess if numbers talk, you have to consider it.
Well, that's basically what you would judge a manager on. I know you like Gene Mauch, but Gene never won.
Gene didn't have the teams to win either, except in Philadelphia the one time.
What about Anaheim?
Then he did. In Anaheim, they did win. They just didn't win the playoffs. Looked like they had Boston. They were on the top step, just like Boston was against the Mets in that 6th game of the World Series.
Manager has a lot to do with picking the players, too.
Not in most organizations.
Well, I don't know about that. When those guys were managing, they had a lot of input.
I would say the majority of the clubs now managers really don't. And I think then the managers were maybe talked to more.
Well, I think the managers had a lot to do with picking the club back then. Now today it's a joint effort. I mean, this is a huge business now, where you have the general manager, the coaches, the assistant general managers, everybody's involved.
Jeffries pops it up behind home plate for strike 1.
I wonder why Earl Weaver has not been considered for the Hall of Fame as a manager. Very successful manager. A lot of people consider him a very intelligent manager. I know you feel Gene Mauch. A lot of guys feel Gene Mauch was a very intelligent manager.
I absolutely concur with their thoughts. Again toward left field. This time Buford is going to get it. And Jeffries out.
When you think of successful managers, what about Mr. Yogi Berra?
Won a championship in both leagues.
Can't beat that. He simplified the game.
Yes. Blas Minor has won a championship with the Philadelphia Phillies, a World Series. Mark Whitten, that RBI single in the 3rd inning. Van Slyke at first, bouncing off pretty far that time. Only a 3-run lead right now by the Mets. Top of the 5th, 6-3 New York. Both teams with 5 hits. Did he check his swing? Well, must have fouled it off. One way or the other, it's a strike. 1-1. Mets pitching staff has walked 1 in this game. They have been very consistent this year. They have led the league almost all year long in the fewest walks for 9 innings. Quick throw by Telgheder over to first base. Little overcast here at Shea. Cool day. Fly ball very deep to right center. Way back. Thompson at the wall. And it's going to stay in the ballpark. I think Witten thought he had it all the way. I was with him. Jeff Kent will lead off the 5th. Mets ahead 6-3. Mets won the first game of this series behind Jason Isringhausen. Got his 7th win of the season last night. Bill's got a bunch of hits, 13 to be exact.
He was on a pregame show today, and when the graphic appeared, we showed him the graphic before we interviewed him. He started laughing when he saw the 13 hits.
Well, he walked no one and struck out 6. He has found ways to win. That's great in a young pitcher.
He said, I got him out when it mattered.
What he did last night when the game was over, he was smiling. Kent line drive into the stands. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jeff. Isringhausen with his knuckle curveball has impressed everybody.
Tommy Harper, coach at the Expos, told me that the hitters were going back to the dugout after facing Isringhausen, saying they have not seen a curveball as good as his.
Tyler Green misses with that pitch. 3-1 to Kent. So he's been 2-0. Is Izzy? What to sign those baseballs, Izzy, huh? Isringhausen. That might take about a minute. Kent hits it hard and deep. Van Slyke again at the wall. Home run. They didn't call it yet. Nope, they say it's in the ballpark. Maybe it hit the tip of the roof. I mean, the tip of the fence. No one's coming out. I guess we're going to have a double. Let's check that one.
Matter of inches. It's a little bit more up, it goes over. This one hit the tip of the top of the wall. It came back into the playing field. See Van Slyke in pursuit. He thought it was gone.
Nope,
and
right
the ball hit off
the
top of the wall and came back into the playing field. Van Slyke getting the ball back in, and it's a long double.
Bronya, the hitter. That reminds me of the play in 1973 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Big play in the game. Ball hit right on the tip in left field. Richie Zisk was running the bases. He thought it was a home run. Ball came down to Cleon Jones. He relayed it. Perfect throw to the plate, and they got Zisk out. Mets won in the next inning. Went on to win the championship. Ball gets by the catcher. So Webster chases it back. Kent goes to third and there's nobody out.
It's a tough play for a catcher right there. The ball was thrown in on the left-handed hitter. Webster had to go towards the hitter to make the play. This is a tough pitch right there. That's got to be scored a wild pitch. Bill Shannon, the official scorer today, scored it a wild pitch.
So the infield has to come in now. The Phillies can't concede a run. They're trailing by 3. Again, way inside to Bronya. Majority of the league knows that Rico has great power through the middle part of the field. A lot of teams have started to try to pound him in to make him more aware. And they slip back outside like that. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bronya. He has struck out and hit his 20th home run of the season. 20th home run, 62nd RBI. You see the direction of the hits. Pretty well scattered.
When he was a youngster in the Tiger organization, they tried to convince him to be a pull hitter because they said you have to hit home runs at Tiger Stadium. Well, it hurt his stroke. Now he's back to using the whole field.
Hits it again down the right field line. That's fair. Mets will score their 7th run, and Bronya in the 2nd with an RBI double. Boy, that's good hitting. See, that's using the whole field.
He hit a home run over the center field wall right there. He drove in Jeff Kent with a shot down the right field line. Look at that, how quick he turns in that ball. He has a sweet swing. And it stays just fair into the corner, and Bronya hustled into second base with the double, and Jeff Kent, who was on third base, scored easily.
Jim Fregosi getting some action in his bullpen. Let's actually have someone throwing in theirs. Off-speed pitch to Todd Hundley. Still nobody out. Mets with a 4-run lead. Hundley should be trying to pull this ball aggressively. 12 for 23. Not a bad 6-game run. Again, out of the strike zone, 2-0. Have a little bit slow-paced game, but the Mets are piling up some runs. That is Fletcher warming for the Phillies. Three balls and no strikes. Tommy Greene walked 6. Jeff Juden came in and he had a pretty good outing in one way. Struck out 4, walked none. Tyler Greene. This is his second inning. That called a strike.
Good pitch. Do the Mets a favor keeping this guy at the plate right now. He's been hot. 3 for 3 in last night's ball game.
That off-speed pitch misses, and the first walk given up by Tyler Greene. That will put the runners at first and second and bring up Thompson. Thompson struck out his last time up. The ball very hard to left field. Nice play by Tom Marsh to rob him of an extra base hit. That word potential has to start coming out of Ryan Thompson. Mets have a lot of talent in the outfield. Lots of young players want jobs.
You reach a certain age and the word potential usually will not be associated with you. Right now, Ryan Thompson's 28 years old. You are realizing your potential at 28 years old.
Some production has to start coming. They're going to come in on him. They don't get it all the way in. A shot to the second baseman. Morandini turns the double play. So a 4-4-3. It's like that. 2 men down. Baronia goes to third on the play.
Here it is again. Thompson hit the ball hard. Morandini plays the high hop, tags second himself, and flips to first to get Thompson.
So Tim Bogar with 2 down. Tyler Greene from the windup. Strike on the outside corner. Bogar has walked and struck out. They got him 4 times last night, so he has mixed in a walk leading off this game. Boy, that's 2 nasty pitches. 0-2. Pound him in on his hands.
Ordinarily now they go back with a breaking ball. You go inside hard. Sometimes it's a good opportunity to go back inside and throw a strike inside.
It's kind of like a backup pitch.
He wanted that breaking ball outside.
Yep.
So he set him up and then missed with the pitch.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men down. Baronia leading off at third. Ball way out of the strike zone. Full count. Wild pitch was the 51st wild pitch of the season for the Phillies. And another walk. Walk number 8 in the game given up by the Phils. We're only in the 5th inning. And Telgheder is coming out of the game. Spires will pinch hit. Spires average resting at 175. Spires 8 hits and 34 at bats as a pinch hitter. That ball by everybody. Cheap run for the Mets. Rico Bronya crosses the plate. That is the 8th run for New York. And the 52nd wild pitch by the Phils.
Boy, Tyler Greene really struggling with his control. How about Dave Telgheder? 2 hits in his ball game, and they pinch hit for him.
The runner still in scoring position for Spires. Line shot, base hit. Van Slyke, the very good arm. Here comes the throw. It's way off line. I mean, way off line. Spires, good base running, takes off for second. And I don't know if I've seen Van Slyke make such a bad throw in a long time. He must have slipped.
Oh, the Mets are twisting and shouting here at Shea Stadium as Jim Fregosi goes out to the mound. That'll be it for Tyler Greene. Ball was hit right to Andy Van Slyke. He charged it, came up throwing, and aggressively threw the ball to the right of home plate. We'll take a look at that baby again. Andy Van Slyke, one of the best in the game, playing center field, and usually a fine thrower. Here he charges this ball, fields it like a shortstop, and makes a strong throw. But as I mentioned, to the right of home plate. In fact, halfway between home and first base. So the Mets' Tim Bogar scores. It's now 9-3 Mets.
And as this breaking the action,
Very productive this year. So there's Paul Fletcher, by the way. 7 games, 1-0 on the season, no saves, 8.00 ERA. And the rest of his story.
Well, number one, Biggio has not left Houston yet. No one can talk to him until he opts to be a free agent.
Well, they got a problem in Houston because they have a budget, and they're almost at budget without Biggio's new salary. So Bob Watson told me he cannot talk to him unless he trades one of the high-priced players on his team.
That's one of the things they're going to have to consider. I know one thing, if I was Houston, as that strike goes across and making it 1-1, I would do all in my power to make sure that Biggio was my second baseman.
Well, Biggio, not only a productive player, but a very popular player in Houston, and they need him. Jeff Bagwell, the first baseman, told me he's going to talk to management in Houston to make sure they keep him.
Well, fouled straight back by Damon Buford, makes it 1-2. Mets with that win last night got out of the basement. Florida had been extremely hot right after the All-Star break themselves. The Mets have rolled along, and for the moment they are in 5th place with bigger things in mind, I might add, especially for the future.
Well, it'd be nice to see the Mets jump over the Expos and go after the Phillies. The 2 behind the Expos coming into today's action. Mets 22.5 back. The Phillies, I should say the Expos 20.5 out. The Phillies 17 out coming into tonight's action, or I should say this afternoon's action.
High chopper. Hayes cuts it off. He better get rid of it. He does. And that'll end the inning. Mets strand 1. But they score 3. Shea. It's a big lead for the New York Mets. 9-3 over the Philadelphia Phillies.
A new pitcher for the New York Mets. See Blas Minor out there. 31 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 save. His ERA 3.29. 37 strikeouts in 41 innings. We talked earlier about how productive the bullpen has been since early in the season.
Well, they have come back. At one point they were 7 wins and 13 losses. They have moved to a 23-22 record. That earned run average down under 3. In fact, the whole Met staff's earned run average is under 4. Not many clubs can say that right now. Mets number 3 in the National League in earned run average. I'm not a tremendous believer in earned run average, but I think it does have merit. So 2 balls and no strikes to Charlie Hayes. There's a strike. And Mets fans, this breaking the action is a great time for you to break open an ice cold Budweiser and enjoy that fresh, pure, natural taste. This Bud's for you. Another strike. Make it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Talking about ERAs. Some stats in baseball are overrated. A lot of stats in baseball are overrated.
Fouled off out of play. The stat that bothered me the most was this thing that they finally junked called the game-winning RBI. That wasn't the most useless information. It really wasn't game-winning RBI. Just depending on where you got to run in a game. Some guy could have drove in the first 8 runs of the ball game and you win 9-8. The other team comes back and scores 8 late in the game. The guy that's got the 9th run gets the game-winning RBI. And the Wilpons have sent the dessert. There's a little fruit. They got strawberries, grapes, and the brownies.
They never sent fruit before. You know what the deal is? I think they're trying to tell us something.
Well, as much as they look good, I usually don't have any. Can't be chewing fudge when you're on the air here. You sound like you're in the wrong booth. Full count. Ball hit hard to right center. And it's right over the right field wall. Line drive. Looked like it was going to be a gapper. And that ball jumped out of the ballpark. So the Phillies get their 4th run on a home run by Charlie Hayes. His 11th home run. His 81st RBI.
You're talking about the way the wind was blowing early in this ball game. That ball shot over the 371 mark. Blas Minor saying, what's cooking?
So not a good first at bat for the new pitcher. Tom Walsh, the second hitter, fouls it straight back. Marsh is 0 for 2. One of those games as you go along, no lead is safe. Seems to be one of those kind of nights or days here at Shea. It's a knuckle curve right off the edge of the bat. Boy, that ball had a lot of gree-gree on it going down first base, didn't it?
Catcher,
Here's a home run.
Webster.
Charlie Hayes extending those arms, hitting the ball a long way over the right field wall here at Shea Stadium. Charlie Hayes, a guy that's moved around quite a bit. He was with the Giants, traded over to the Phillies, and wasn't happy because he was not getting an opportunity to play. He was the guy they wanted to pick up where Mike Schmidt left off. He ended up with the Yankees, was picked up by the Rockies in the expansion draft, and then signed on with the Phillies when the Rockies said, we're not going to re-sign you. He was not happy out there.
Curveball hit the center field. Thompson waiting, 2 down. So Lenny Webster is out, and that'll bring up Kevin Elster.
Hey, how about the job Don Baylor has done as manager of those Colorado Rockies?
Shortstop.
We were talking about who should be the most valuable player in this league a little bit before the game. Certainly Dante Bichette has to be the guy that stands out.
I'm going Mike Piazza.
Well,
if they win.
Piazza, Larkin. I mean, some people, the Cub fans, think that Sosa's had that kind of year. Bichette's up there in every category almost. Ball foul right back at us. Right
I think the categories are important, but the big thing is when Mike Piazza went out of the lineup for the Dodgers started to really sink. He came back after a couple weeks and they took off, and he's led the charge with his bat. Also, he's a catcher.
I know you're a little prejudiced to that, but Bichette's number 3 in batting average, number 1 in home runs and RBIs, number 2 in multi-hit games, number 5 in runs, 2nd in hits, 1st in total bases, 2nd in slugging percentage.
He's had a very good year, but if the Dodgers win, I'm going Mike Piazza.
Suppose the Dodgers don't win.
Well, then I would take a closer look at Bichette and Larkin.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting vote.
How about Walker?
Certainly a fine player, but he has not, in all those different categories, gotten ahead of.
Defensively, you got to take that into consideration.
I do, and I don't disagree with your thought.
No contest right there. You don't like that defense.
I think
You're going with
I
the
probably
Thunder.
worked more on my defense than I did my offense.
But you're going with the Thunder in this MVP voting, I can tell.
There is no doubt that Dante Bichette has my attention. and he didn't have it, when he was there earlier in the season, but he has maintained it.
And he's done a lot of his production at Mile High State. I should say at Coors Field. A lot of his production coming at Coors Field. Nothing wrong with that, though.
When you start adding up the numbers at the end of the year, it's whatever they are. Strike called. That'll end the top of the 6th inning. First strikeout for Blas Minor. Mets lead 9-4. We'll be back. Boy, it's right over the heart of the plate. Hit hard to center. But Van Slyke waiting. Check our GMC mid-game recap. Bronya, the solo home run, is 20th and an RBI double. 7 different players have scored for the Mets, and Telgheder on the winning side of this game with his 5 innings. So the spot start for Telgheder a success. Carl Everett is the hitter. Fletcher the pitcher. Good curveball for strike 1. 7th at Dallas Green. Greg Pavlik decided after 5 innings Telgheder has not been starting. He's been pitching out of the bullpen. Ball gets through the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. They had seen enough. He had thrown enough pitches in their estimation. Got the Mets through 5 with a good lead. He's on the winning side. Way out of the strike zone. 2-1. Phillies have struck out 7 Mets in this game, but they have also walked 8. That's been the biggest difference. They're working on number 9 here. Everett will look for the fastball. We'll see if he gets it. He does, but it's up and away. And the 9th walk in the game. Wow. I don't know if they have enough Rolaids for 9 walks.
They tried those managers crazy. We've talked about it before. For some reason, it doesn't bother the pitcher as much as the manager to walk. But the home run does.
Jeff Kent has struck out twice and doubled. Hit a shot right off the tip of the left center field fence. Right on the top. Bounced up in the air back toward the playing area. It's the home run by about 2 inches. And another ball. He's wearing glasses that brighten. Those yellow glasses a lot of hunters use in the early morning.
By the way, there's 2 balls, Rusty. I believe the umpire called the ball on going to the mouth.
Okay. Kent going to right this time. Hits it well. Witten over to make the play. 1 down. Pardon me, 2 down. So Everett remains on first, and that will bring up Rico Bronya. A strikeout, a home run, and an RBI double. Two RBIs, 2 runs scored. Chance for more. Fouls that one back. Strike 1.
We talked about Rico Bronya before, that sweet swing he has. It seems when Rico tries to overswing, he has a problem. He just tries to let the bat do the work. He hits a ball over the left field fence. He can pull it over the right field fence. He's had a fine season so far with the Mets. 292, 20 home runs, and 63 RBIs.
For a young hitter, I mean, there's lots of room for him to improve, too. He can get a lot better. They're going to try to jam him. They miss inside. 1-1.
Talked about that trade. Alan Zinter, #1 draft pick for the Mets, traded for Rico Brogna, who was a #1 draft pick for the Tigers. Turned out to be a fine trade for New York.
Rico has 99 strikeouts on the season so far. That makes it 2-1. That's something he can definitely work on and improve. He just got half of those cut down. Think how many other hits you would have. Pitcher gets the call. So the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies won the first series here against them as they swept the Mets in a 4-game set earlier in the year. Ground ball stopped by Fletcher. Over the first, that will end it. At strand 1 on the bottom of the 6th. It's still 9-4 New York. Leading 9-4. It's good to see our old partner back in here. Voice is all right today. Ralph Kiner.
Back to life again. Gary Varsho will be the pinch hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies. Varsho hitting .260 for the year and showing bunt. It's called a strike for strike 1. Blas Minor on the mound for the Mets, 3-2 in the year with 1 save, a chance for his 2nd save of the year, relieving Dave Telgheder, who, if he wins this ball game, will win his 1st game of the year for the Mets. He has lost 1, and there's a fastball for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And Blas Minor back, and this pitch hitting the air to right field. Carl Everett right there. 1 away. That'll bring up Mickey Morandini.
Morandini has really done a good job for the Phils, Ralph, when you realize that he fought for his job at second base this year. 47 RBIs in that leadoff slot.
And he chokes up in the bat. That's got to make you like him.
Well, we were talking about this earlier in the game. Jim Fregosi talked to him during the beginning part of last year, and he benched him. He says, "You're not swinging from the handle anymore."
He said, "Choke up or ship out."
That's it.
And he had a good year last year, another good year this year. And he has gone up in that bat.
Said, "I'm tired of watching you fly out to left, right, and center with that uphill stroke of yours from the handle."
And a big swing there, doesn't get the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And especially having seen Dykstra come along as he has in spraying the ball around, there's no better example than what happened to Lenny when he got that injury to his rib cage and couldn't swing hard.
This one punched out to left field. It'll drop in front of Buford, and it's a base hit. So Morandini gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's now 2 for 4, and that puts a runner on with 1 man out here in the 7th inning. There's a typical example of what can happen when you make bat contact.
Don't try to do too much. Don't overswing. You're a guy that's going to have a limited chance to hit a bunch of home runs anyway, especially if you're going to hit early in the lineup. You got to move the ball around.
You know, ironically, he's got more home runs this year, almost double over what he's ever had in any one season after he went to the choke up on the bat. Bouncing ball through the middle, a base hit for Van Slyke. Morandini down to second base and holding there. And the Phillies with runners at first and second with 1 man out. And Greg Jeffries the batter.
It's one of the things that some hitters eventually find out, that it's amazing how far the ball will go if you just turn on it and use your hands well. Joe Morandini, because he's hit so many balls to left field, has had the opportunity to get more pitches that you can drive. And in certain situations, he's had the talent to turn on the ball.
And now Jeffries gets his first pitch. It's called a ball. Well, the epitome of choking up on the bat and hitting with power is Barry Bonds.
Oh, yes. Oh, my, yes.
Chokes up in the bat 2 or 3 inches and can hit the ball as far as anybody in the game. 1-0 pitch is called a strike, and it's 1-1 to Jeffries. Jeffries 1 for 3 today, 4 for 5 yesterday.
That's the 17th time in his career he has had 4 hits in the game. And he's the 2nd toughest guy in the National League to strike out this year.
That is for sure second to Tony Gwynn. And that pitcher ball, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, it's dramatic, the difference. Tony Gwynn struck out once each 34.3 at bats.
Almost 1/2 as many times as Jeffries. And a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Jeffries is 1 each 20.1. That is unbelievable. Check it out. How about Mark Grace? See how much it drops off after Jeffries? Look at Tony Gwynn. My word. That's something.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that ball in the dirt blocked by Healy. The runners hold. Good job by Todd, and the count goes to 3-2. Joel Sewell, a shortstop, who went a whole season and struck out 2 times. The all-time record for a batter in Major League Baseball. Joe Sewell, who's in the Hall of Fame, he said the one time they called him out on strikes, the pitch was a ball. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Driven deep to right field. It'll be extra bases. No, it won't. Great play by Everett as he goes back and makes the catch. The runner's moving back after going halfway, and Everett turns that sinking line drive into an out.
Got a little too much top hand. You're right, Ralph. It was a sinking liner. Had all the appearance of being an extra base hit. Jeffries giving a big wah here.
Oh, big out right there. It looked like extra bases. Everett, a great jump.
Made that play easily.
So now 2 men away, and the batter will be Mark Whitten. Whitten 1 for 3, flied out to deep center his last time up. And he takes ball 1. Whitten with 28 runs batted in has hit 9 home runs. Has a .289 batting average. He has some outstanding power, and he drives at the left center. That'll be extra bases. Coming in the score from second base is Morandini. Coming around from first base, Van Slyke. And Van Slyke scores the second run of this inning. And Whitten with his 3rd run batted in. And he ends up on second base with a double. So the Phillies trying to come back in this ball game. And they have scored 2 here in the 7th inning.
Third baseman Charlie Hayes.
Dallas Green has seen enough. He is coming out. It's unusual that Dallas comes out, that a change is not made, taking his time, trying to give Doug Henry a few more pitches. He saves a 3.38 earned run average. Only 44 hits given up now, and 50.
Runner at second base, 2 men out, top of the 7th inning. And the first pitch, a fastball for ball 1.
I think a balk is called here. Bob Davidson is in this group, so it must have been him.
It's got to be Davison. You're right. He leads the league in balks called. Bob Davison, the umpire at third base.
Got to be called for no stop, huh?
Oh, that's
got to be marginal again.
That is really marginal. The balk is in the eyes of the beholder, and Davison sees more of them than anybody. And I'm not sure he called that balk because there's no indication as who called it. That pitch a ball, and a runner at third base. The Mets playing their infield back with 2 men away, leading by 3. Whitten balked to third. And the strike call. Hayes at .281 for the year, 11 home runs, 81 runs batted in. Peripatetic, third baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Whitten gave a big move up there. Kind of altered Henry's delivery. Shook him up a little bit.
Trying to make him balk again, working from the set position here. A 2-1 pitch, and the fastball catches the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Overcast skies at Shea Stadium, the temperature in the 60s, and the curveball in the dirt, and again a good play by Todd Hundley.
Ricocheted all over the place, didn't it?
Kept that body there to block that ball as it hit about 3 different places on his body. So it's 3-2 as Doug Henry works to Charlie Hayes.
Hayes gets on. The tying run comes to the plate.
On deck batter Tom Marsh. And here's a 3-2 pitch, and he walks him. Boy, I just don't understand that pitch.
I don't either.
You got to make him hit the ball to get on. Now the tying run is at the plate. He goes to the curveball. 3-2 and misses by about 2 feet.
Hundley out front, giving the signs in case there was an attempted steal.
So the Phillies have the time run at the plate. Tom Marsh, the batter. Marsh 0 for 3 in the game with a strikeout.
That is just a really unusual selection to pitch.
And the first pitch, a base hit to right field. Coming in the score is Witten. Going to third is Hayes. The throw there not in time. And the ball stopped there by Tim Bogar as the runner, Tom Marsh, holds at first base after the RBI single. So now the time run at first base, the score 9-7 in favor of the New York Mets. And the batter coming up, Lenny Webster, who homered in the 4th inning.
Hayes at third base, looking at his knee, it looks like. There goes Hayes on the base hit. Rounds the bag. It might have just be that he's got a strawberry from the slide. Let's take a look and see what happens.
Catcher Lenny Webster.
Gets down. See the tear in the pants, but he might have jammed the knee a little bit into the base.
So Hayes at third base. Good base running there as he takes advantage of the base hit to right field. And Lenny Webster coming to the plate. Webster lined to right field his first time up. Homered to left field in the 4th, his second at bat, and flied out to center field. Webster hitting .256. He has hit just 2 home runs this year. And he takes low and away for ball 1, and Doug Henry having all kinds of location problems.
He'll be blaming us for having a little comment here and there on the pregame show and during this game about how well the bullpen has been doing. He'll be blaming us. What do you think, Ralph?
I don't think we're going to accept it. Making a throw at third and first, and
then you make all the compliments. They come out and they struggle.
And that pitch is ball 2, so a 2-0 count to Lenny Webster as Doug Henry falls behind. And there's a strike, 2-1.
Bills had a ton of hits yesterday. We told you they scattered 13 of them. 10 in today's game so far.
Webster filling in for Darren Dalton, who is out for the year. And the 2-1 pitch, and it's in there, a call strike 2, so it evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a big pitch. He got that pitch. That's right on the corner. Hitter Webster disappointed. The pitcher pleased.
2-2 the count. And the pitch, and it's a broken bat, line drive pulled out of the air on a great play by Rico Brogna, and that will end the inning. That could have been a 2-base hit to tie up the ball game. What a play. So at the end of 6½, it's the Mets 9, the Phillies 7.
Hits, too many walks, decent strikeouts.
And the first batter for the Mets is Todd Huntley. Todd in this ball game 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Mets leading 9-7. Phillies about hit the Mets 10-8. And the Mets trying to hang on to win the second game of this series. The Mets have won 3 in a row and 7 of their last 10 ball games. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Final meeting between these two teams will be tomorrow afternoon. It'll be Reed Cornelius against Mike Williams for the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-1 the count to Todd Huntley. Todd 3 for 3 in last night's ball game, and he drills this one on the ground to the shortstop. Kevin Elster throws the first for the out.
I'd like to say one thing, Ralph. I know it's from both myself and you and Fran Healy. Our producer Kevin Minor will be leaving after this game today. Kevin, we have loved it. Enjoyed you being around. It's been a lot of fun. We wish you good success in what you're endeavoring to do with Sports Channel in the future.
Very talented guy and a great person to work with through these years here at Sports Channel, and certainly our best wishes for great success, continued success, as that pitch is ball 1 to Ryan Thompson. Thompson 0 for 3.
Geez, who are we going to get on from here on out, Ralph? We're going to be in trouble.
The next guy that takes his place is in deep trouble. 2 balls and no strikes. I hope he has as much tolerance as Kevin.
Boy, he's going to have to take some training, huh?
The 2-0 pitch to Thompson. Ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. Orland 1-1 on the year with 6 saves. Spent 7 years in the minor leagues before making it to the majors last year with the Philadelphia Phillies. And that pitch a ball, and it's 3-1 to Ryan Thompson. Thompson at .260 for the year. And the slider fouled back into the stands. That fills it out.
Boy, he had a good pitch to hit right there.
Nice flat slider, and Thompson doesn't get it. Count runs out to 3-2. And he goes after the off-speed pitch and strikes out. Second time Thompson has struck out.
Third baseman Tim Bogart.
And it will bring up Tim Bogart.
Borland, the 5th pitcher used by Jim Fregosi in this game.
Philly pitchers have struck out 8. They have walked 9 while giving up 8 base hits. So the Mets have had 17 base runners and lead the ball game by a score of 9-7 as Bogart takes his strike. Bogart is 0 for 1. He has walked twice. Both times that he has walked, he has scored. And the breaking ball for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Frankie Frisch used to say, "Oh, those bases on balls." Hall of Fame second baseman and manager in the majors. Base hit for Bogart as he singles the right field, and Bogart had struck out in his last 5 official at bats.
He was working hard.
Pitch hitting for Doug Henry, number 6.
That'll bring up a pinch hitter, Joe Orsulak.
You see the hit by Bogart going the other way.
Orsulak, the pinch hitter for Doug Henry, hitting .292, 1 home run, 36 runs batted in, and the curveball for a called strike. Orsulak as a pinch hitter, 10 for 29 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. An outstanding job for the Mets as a pinch hitter. And that's strike 2, foul tip. 0-2 the count to Orsulak, hitting for Henry.
After such a bad start against the Phillies, the Mets have won the last 4 games that these two clubs have played against each other.
And if the Mets can win here today, they will even out the season series at 6 apiece. That pitch, a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bogart the runner at first, 2 men away. Mets leading 9-7. Bottom half of the 7th inning. And it's up the middle, and a chance for the shortstop, Elster. He has it, throws the first for the out that ends the inning. Days for the year, a 2.16 ERA. This will be his 13th game. And his first batter is Kevin Elster. And the first pitch, a called strike as Elster shows bunt. Elster 0 for 2. He has walked. After the walk, he scored the first run for the Phillies. That was back in the third. That's at that point in the ball game, leading 5-0 when Elster scored the first run. 2 strikes the count to Elster, hitting .211 on the year, 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. Former Mets shortstop, an outstanding shortstop for the Mets. This ball hit the deep left center field. Going back is left fielder Buford. He can't get to it. It's off of the base of the wall, and Elster goes in with a double. So that puts the tying run at the plate as Elster leads off here in the 8th inning with a 2-base hit.
So after the double switch, Eisenreich will be the next hitter.
So Bird giving up a 2-base hit as he faces his first batter. And Eisenreich hitting a .318, steps in. He has 8 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Outstanding hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies. And that pitch gets away. And going to third is Kevin Elster.
Ball way out of the strike zone. I haven't heard what they've called it, but I have to believe that will be a while. They're going to give it a pass ball.
Well, that's a tough call. That pitch awfully hard to handle. It was way outside. And the 1-0 count to Eisenreich, and he pops it up to center field. It'll score a run as Thompson goes over into left center to track it down. No play at the plate as Elster comes in to score. So it's now a 1-run ball game, and that'll bring up the top of the batting order, and it will be Mickey Morandini. Tap the Rockies with Coors Light. Thank you, New York and New Jersey, for making Coors Light the #1 light beer.
It's like Jerry DiPoto throwing in the Met bullpen now.
And the first pitch to Morandini is taken for ball 1. Paid crowd here today, 18,351. A good strike there with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that fastball missing. 2-1 the count to Morandini. Morandini 2 for 4 in the game with 2 runs scored. And the strike call, 2-2. Morandini not happy with that call. But Paul Bird is. 2-2 pitch, and it's in there. Strike 3 call.
Well, if you're going to complain about the 2-2 pitch, you got to take that bat off your shoulder or you're dead.
2 men away. And Andy Van Slyke, the batter.
This is a good pitch. Look at the target. Watch the ball go right there. That's a fine pitch.
Morandini back to the bench after making the second out here in the 8th inning. And Van Slyke 1 for 3 in the game, the batter, and he takes a called strike. Van Slyke at 258. Joined the Phillies from the Baltimore Orioles, and that curveball a call strike for strike 2. In his first game for the Phillies after hitting poorly in the American League, he hit a single his first time up and a home run his second. That was against the New York Mets. Struck him out. So after giving up the run, Bird strikes out the last 2 batters. And the score at the end of 7.5 innings, it's the Mets 9, the Philadelphia Phillies 8. 9-8 as they bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Damon Buford will lead it off. Tony Borland on the mound for the Phillies, their 5th pitcher in this game, and the first pitch, ball 1. Buford 1 for 3 today. And a high fastball, 2 balls and no strikes.
And you know that Dallas Green is sitting in that dugout going, come on, boys, let's get that insurance run here.
Yeah, we need some insurance. As Franco throws in the bullpen for the Mets, he undoubtedly will come in for the last half inning. At least the Mets hope so.
Maybe the only way he won't is if the Mets score 3 or 4 runs.
Count goes to 3-0. Borland back and getting a strike. It's 3-1.
I say given a strike.
Yeah, not getting given. 3-1 the count. And that's ball 4. So Borland walks Buford to lead off here in the bottom half of the 8th. That'll bring up Jose Vizcaino.
That is the 10th walk in this game given up by the Phillies. 10.
Mets have had 9 hits, so they've had 19 base runners, leading by a score of 9-8.
Again, Hayes looking for the sacrifice.
Vizcaino has walked twice, is 0 for 2 officially, and Phillies looking for the bunt.
He was way up there in sacrifice bunts. Hadn't had a lot lately because he just swung the bat so good you couldn't bunt him.
He's still tied for second with 12. He's tied with pitcher Pete Schurik, who has 12, and the leader in the National League in sacrifice bunts is Bobby Jones, who has a total of 18 for the Mets. 1 ball, no strikes. Hayes dropping back to about even with the bag at third. Runner goes with the pitch, and on the hit and run play, the ball fouled off.
Well, they had it covered too. The shortstop was covering. That's the way Vizcaino went. Again, Ralph, when you have a guy up there who is such a good hit and run guy, a guy who has done it a lot, I don't understand the philosophy of playing it straight and letting the shortstop cover. That was a fastball away.
Perfect pitch to hit the other way through the shortstop's position. The infielders call the play, either the second baseman or the shortstop, as to who is covering, and if they do it correctly, they go on the pitch. Curveball figures to be pulled. The fastball figures to be hit the other way. If you're a left-hand batter,
yeah, but if you're a good hit and run guy, you're going to be able to move the ball no matter what that pitch is.
Real good hit and run players wait and see who's covering.
Yeah, he's trying to pick it up. I will admit that Elstad's not giving it away by being too close to the bag. That much I can give him.
Hayes still in at third, and again to throw to first base.
Lots of times, very inexperienced infielders get a little antsy about being close enough to the bag to make the cover.
One ball, 1 strike. Mets trying to make it 4 in a row. As the pitch is bunted and bunted foul. Ironically, if you go back to the way baseball was before the last expansion and the realignment of baseball teams, the Phillies and Cubs would be tied for first in the National League East. Atlanta would be in the Central Division, not in the Eastern Division, which they are now. The Mets would be in third place, 5.5 games back of the Phillies and Cubs. As it stands now with the realignment and with Atlanta in the Eastern Division, the Mets are 22.5 games out of first. This ball hit deep to right field. It's way back. Mark Wooden to the warning track, and he makes the play. Buford halfway goes back to first base, and Vizcaino's bid for the extra base hit is turned away as Witten goes back and makes the catch.
It's tough to judge by the flag at Shea, but the flag at Shea says the wind is blowing really hard from right toward left, so that really kind of ate that ball up.
So Witten picks up the put out, and that'll bring up Carl Everett. Everett has walked twice, has doubled, and is 1 for 2 for today's play. Buford, the runner at first base, has 6 stolen bases in 13 attempps. Neither club a base-stealing club. The Mets are 14th in stolen bases. The Phillies are 13th.
I think the most amazing stat of the year, Ralph, is that the Phillies are last in the National League in home runs. Last.
They have hit only 85 home runs coming into this game. They've had one in this game. That has been the big difference for the Philadelphia Phillies, as Everett shows bunt and takes 2 home runs for the Phillies in this ball game. One by the catcher Lenny Webster, and the other by Charlie Hayes. And that pitch taken low, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. In the starting lineup for the Phillies, Hayes is the leading home run hitter with 11. Mets leading home run hitter in the starting lineup is Bronya with 20, and he leads the club in that department. 2-1. And a breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Cubbage, the third base coach, sending the signs in to Everett. Buford, a fairly good sized lead at first base. He's running with a pitch, big jump, the throw by Webster, not in time and too high, and Buford gets the stolen base.
Solano evened his record up at 7-7 in stolen base attempts.
Pitch in there for a called strike, so the count 3-2 as Buford gets in the scoring position.
Sure, what the catcher Lenny Webster is saying is this guy's been hot. First base is open. You have a right-hander Kent coming up.
Kent in the on-deck circle. The count 3-2 on Everett. And the pitch pulled foul, and the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fregosi, one-time third baseman for the New York Mets. Mets acquired him when Nolan Ryan was sent to the California Angels.
People forget that he broke his thumb.
Spring training.
In spring training that year. It really hurt him.
Big curveball that swung on and foul tips, so the count again stays at 3-2.
And in that spring training, at the end of spring training, the players didn't finish spring training. It was, the players had walked out of camp. So when everybody came back, there was very little time to get back in. I think that really hurt Jimmy Fregosi in his career here with the Mets.
Outstanding player for the California Angels in the first expansion back in 1961. He had been in the Red Sox organization. There's a good curveball called strike 3. So Everett caught looking, and with 2 men out, it'll bring up Jeff Kent.
He does not agree with the call, but that's a pretty good pitch by Borland. Again, he had first base open, so he's going to try the backdoor breaking ball. I'll tell you what, might have been down, but when it crossed the plate, it's debatable. You see his reaction. He just can't believe it.
Tough pitch on the 3-2 count as Jeff Kent steps in. Kent has struck out twice, is 1 for 2. 1 base hit, a 2 base hit, and he scored a run, and he takes the curveball for a called strike. Mets leading 9-8 as they bat with 2 men out in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
And it's a big run at second base for the Mets. Changes all the strategies in the 9th inning.
Insurance run and a big one at second base, and this ball hit hard to third. Hayes, a great play. The long throw to first, bounced over there and gets by Jeffries. The Mets will get an insurance run on the air. So the Mets get that big extra run as Hayes made a brilliant stop, but the throw in the dirt, and Jeffries unable to come up with it.
Fregosi coming out, he's going to make another change and bring his one left-hander in, Steve Fry. And I'll tell you what, that was some play by Hayes, and it wound up being an error on Hayes and a brilliant try to end that inning.
Well, I can't give him an error on that ball. This is too good a play to come up with the ball. It's way out of throwing position.
Now he kind of plants, makes a decent throw. You see, it's the short hot. Jeffries is trying to make the play to get the out, and technically he got in between. He didn't really go for the out. Tough play for Hayes. That's one of those errors that they got to mark down as tough luck error. And let's take one more look at it. Ken hits it down the line, has extra bases written all over it. Hayes grabs it. See, it pulls him way over, lets it fly. Jeffries a little bit awkward at first, and the run is going to score easily.
The run is unearned, and the Mets now lead it by a score of 10-8 with the new pitcher in the ball game.
I tell you, they only have one left-hander in the bullpen. It's got to be Steve Fry coming in, number 6 for the Phillies today. There you see his record. 0-4, 3.47 earned run average.
And at one time, way back, he pitched for the New York Mets.
Well, I'll tell you what, you check his book out. It's a lot of names underneath it, a lot of clubs.
He's got a fortune in traveling money. Steve Fry.
Everybody looking for those left-handers in the bullpen.
And as Rusty pointed out, Steve Fry, the 6th pitcher used by Jim Fregosi in this game. 2 of the pitchers he used in relief had never pitched in relief this year. They had both been starting pitchers. In the bullpen now, Tyler Greene and also Jeff Juden.
Well, Tommy Greene was pulled back off the disabled list. They've had so many injuries, the Phillies have had, to their pitching staff, and in a desperate hope that they could maybe get him to start a few games for him with this race for the wild card. Tommy Greene got the start in today's game, but he was supposed to be done for the year.
Came in
He
with a
did not
record.
perform well.
Yeah, 0-4 record. Worked 1 2/3 innings. Was charged with 5 runs, but he walked 6 in 1 2/3 innings. This ball hit hard to right field, and it will drop in for a base hit. Rico Brogna, the hitting star of the ball game, singles to right field. Kent goes down to second and holds there, and Brogna now 3 for 5 in the game.
I don't know, is it me, Ralph, or did Ken assume too much right there? He didn't seem to get down there. He didn't. You know, you can't be thrown out at third with 2 down, so you're going to be a little conservative. But he really did not take off well.
I think he's playing with a bad leg.
I think he has to be. Something's wrong there, because that.
He's been bothered by that hamstring, so
he's looking at. I know he's talking to the umpire, Jim Quick, but he looked like he was trying to say something to Hondo about not being able to run.
So Brogna with the single, a double, and the home run in this ball game. Also a great defensive play to save 1 run, possibly 2, that would have tied up the game earlier. And Todd Huntley takes a called strike. Huntley in this game 0 for 2 with 2 walks. That's leading 10-8, bottom half of the 8th inning. And that pitch a ball as Fry misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a high fly ball to right field. Playable for Mark Whitten, and his catch retires aside. But the Mets get a big insurance run, and the score at the end of 8 innings of play here at Shea Stadium. The Mets 10, the Philadelphia Phillies 8.
Stick around for Bob Papa and Game Time. You'll get all the scores, highlights, post-game interviews, and much more.
Stick around. Game Time is next.
The Sports Authority Game Time, tonight after the game on Sports Channel.
Top of the 9th inning, the Mets leading 10-8, 10 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. The Phillies 8 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. And a new pitcher in for the New York Mets.
John Franco in to try for his 25th save of the season. Got a save in last night's game. It's his 44th appearance, 5-3 in the win-loss column. And a 2.44 earned run average. Rest of the story for John. I think the biggest thing that John's been doing a little better on, Ralph. We talked about how he was behind the hitters a lot. Getting ahead of the hitters and being able to work on them is the name of the game for everybody, but particularly when you come in relief.
He'll be working to the heart of the batting order. Greg Jeffries, Mark Whitten, and Charlie Hayes. And Rusty, a very important anniversary right here. On this day in 1927, Rene Lacoste won the U.S. Lawn Tennis Association Championships, beating Bill Tilden in 3 sets. And you know what that means? If Lacoste hadn't won that match against Bill Tilden, none of us would be wearing alligators on our golf shirts today.
I hear you.
Lacoste, of course, the guy that made that polo shirt with the alligator, the most famous shirt ever made for a sports shirt. And the first pitch. Ball 1, yeah. And the 1-0 pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes, and as we said, you can take it from us, he gets ahead of the hitters now.
Well, it's not so much that he does, that's what his effort has been.
And he gets a strike, 2 and 1.
He knows that's been his problem, not getting ahead of him.
One thing you can't do here is walk the leadoff batter when you're lead by 2 in the 9th inning. Jeffries in this ball game. Rounds it to third base. A terrific play by Bogart. He gets the out. Boy. There was a tough hop.
Boy, that is a game play right there. Check this one out. What? He's going to stay down. The ball comes up. Ooh. He's able to come up. You can always come up quick. You just can't go down quick. That is a major league play in the clutch.
So Bogart turning in the first out here in the 9th inning, helping out John Franco. And that'll bring up Mark Whitten. Whitten 2 for 4, and Whitten tries to bunt his way on. A good play there. He can get on, the time run would be at the plate, but he bunts it foul. And the one thing you do when you're bunting for a base hit, you either bunt it perfectly or bunt it foul.
Well, Whitten, dramatically a better hitter, left-handed than right-handed. Came into today's action hitting .316 left, .241 right. But that's a good move all the way, Ralph. I agree.
4 in the game. 3 for 7 against Franco. And this ball is popped up into shallow center field. The wind holding it up, and now Kent coming back to the infield turf to make the play, and the Mets 1 out away from winning their 4th in a row and their 2nd in a row from the Philadelphia Phillies.
The reason why he's laughing is he called it a little too soon. We told you about how hard that wind is blowing from right to left. It blew that ball back to the shortstop's position. You know, you want to be as aggressive as you can be, but he realized after catching it that maybe I called it a bit too soon. See, he calls it right away. I have it. Now watch how far he's got to go here. Still going. Right in front of Vizcaíno, who gives him that little look. He's got that little sly look at him.
Let the sure man have it, yeah. First pitch now to Charlie Hayes, who is 2 for 3 with a home run. Low for ball 1. Mets leading by 2, 10-8 here with 2 men out, top of the 9th inning. And the fastball fouled back into the stands. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One, 2, 3 in the 9th. Is that possible?
Doesn't seem to be happening to the Mets often. An easy 9th inning. Franco got a double play to get out of the 9th inning yesterday. And he misses low on the count, 2-1.
In fact, 2 double plays in the game yesterday were big. Dipoto and Franco.
And the 2-1 pitch, low for ball 3. A walk would put the time run at the plate.
This is a challenge situation here. Just got to throw the fastball right down to shoot and hope the defense can help him.
Make him hit his way on is the name of the game here. Don't make it easy with a walk, and this ball is hit. It's hit out to center field where Thompson is tracking it down, and that's the ball game. The Mets win it by a score of 10-8 as Franco works a 1-2-3 inning as he gets that pitch in the strike zone, and Hayes makes the last out of the ball game. For Franco, his 40, make that his 25th save of the year. The winning pitcher was Telgheder, his first win of the year. He's now 1-1. Losing pitcher Tommy Greene, his record is 0-5. And we go back now to our studios and Matt.
All right, Ralph, thank you very much. 4 in a row now for the Mets. They seem to like this spoiler role. The Phillies' wild card hopes in the National League slowly fading away as they've now dropped 2 straight to the Amazons. We're going to take a short time out. When we come back, we'll send you back to Shea. Still ahead on the post-game edition of the Sports Authority Game Time. A look at college football action, both top 25 and local. Stay with us.
That's when they're second in a row from the Philadelphia Phillies and they're 4th in a row going back to the previous series, and the Mets have won it by a score of 10-8. Telgheder, the winning pitcher, his first win of the year for the Mets. He's now 1-1, and a save for Franco, his record going to 25 saves. Mets get off to a big start in the wildness of the starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, Tommy Greene, as the Mets scored 5 runs, and in that ball game Greene walked 6 batters in less than 2 innings of work. So pretty good gift for the New York Mets at the beginning.
Well, they walked 10 in the game, and when you do that, it's very difficult to win. They certainly did battle back and make it a tight game against the New York Mets. Franco really with an outside chance if the Mets finish strong to get his 30 saves on the season. 25th today, 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. We talked about that. We don't see that a lot here at Shea. But the player of the game has to be Rico Brogard, a Texaco star of the game. Rico Brogna, he got 3 hits in this game. He had a home run, he had an RBI double, and he made a great play. He's our Texaco star of the game, and we'll be back after these words.